Running an accounting firm, it's about optimizing for constraints. The month ends on the same day for all your clients. You're doing all that client work at the same time. The tax deadline is, well, it's the tax deadline. And if you were a fly on the wall of that accounting firm, you know what you'd see during the most busy times? Yeah, could you send me a copy of that? Looks like I got pages 1, 3, 5, and 7. Could you? Yep, there's more on the back.
Did you get that email then?
Okay. Nope, that's not coming through.
Haven't
got
that
yet then?
Okay.
You're just checking in on the one I sent you the other day. Hey, you sent me 5 and 7, but I still need all it again, I know.
Steve, how you doing? It's been a couple of months.
You're tracking people down for the shit you need, the shit they told you they'd send, and for the shit you couldn't read because it had shit on it. When what you should be doing is working, is getting stuff done, but you're too busy managing requests. Requests, the bane of the accountant's existence. A black hole of productivity, but when you get it right, the holy grail of making your firm more productive. Let me paint for you a hypothetical picture. Let's open up our minds here, friends. Imagine a firm that lets machines do all the requesting. Yeah, I hate portals. Okay, I said, let's open our minds. Requests are loaded up into some sort of computer machine. The machine tells the clients when there's a new request. My clients will hate this. Oh, your clients are different, huh? Cause most clients love this stuff. Okay, just stick with me. The machines will do the requesting, the humans will do all the other stuff. So there's a new request, the machine notifies the client, and then they will remind the clients of any outstanding requests on an ongoing basis. Imagine if your firm never emailed a request again. What would this universe look like? Well, on a monthly close, the first of each month, those requests, buddy, they're gonna walk right out the door all on their own without you doing a thing. When the clients don't respond to those requests, those robots, they're gonna pester your clients until they complete them. Now, come tax season, you've got a little army of requests standing by until you let them loose. And the wild thing here, you can stage all of these requests ahead of time. And in your busiest times, they're working their little robot butts off, reminding clients, saying, hey, you sent me 1 through 6, but you didn't send me 7, Steve. And all of this work is happening without your intervention on every single client engagement. This is happening, you're not doing a thing. This is human work that you're doing right now. If you zoom out and you think about the amount of time that is spent in your busiest times, figuring out what you need to ask for, figuring out which of those things you already have, figuring out who to ask and how to ask for the things you need, and then 3 weeks later figuring out, did I actually send that requests, and starting the whole process back over again when they don't respond to your request. This is happening everywhere in your firm. And if a junior builds a list of requests, oh, you better believe the senior's gonna redo the whole process before they send it. You know what that looks like. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you my approach to requests is perfect and flawless. It'll still be a pain, but it's a massive step forward from waiting until your busiest season to send request lists to your clients. So allow me to convince you 4 reasons why you need a machine to manage your client requests and the 4 most common counter arguments I hear. Okay, first reason you need a machine, follow-ups. Because you'll forget to follow up, or at a certain point it'll just get too awkward to keep following up, and we've all been there. You follow up, the client does nothing. Maybe you follow up a second time, they don't do anything again, and then 6 months later, the return's due. And the day before the deadline, you follow up for a 3rd time, and now they're pissed. And it's probably like their fault for ghosting you, right? But nobody's happy in that situation. They're not happy, I'm not happy. I'm a tax guy, so I know this feeling well. But looking across my entire firm, the amount of time we spent following up, just figuring out what was needed, oh my golly gosh, easily a 1/3 of people's time during tax season when they could otherwise, I don't know, be doing the work, be doing things that we could actually bill people for. Second reason you need a machine to do your requests, it's a better client experience. A single concrete list of what they're supposed to provide you with. That's as explicit as can possibly be. You're making it as clear as possible to them. Hey bud, here's what you need to get done, and your project is on pause basically until you complete it. What's more, your clients now have a single place to see if you're waiting on anything. No more confusion about who's waiting on who, and a digital request list, please. So much better than a tax organizer, than a spreadsheet. Ugh, just stop using those things. Third, pre-scheduled requests. The fact that you can nail down what these requests should be ahead of time. When your business is constrained by tax season or by the monthly close, anytime you can spend outside of the busiest time to relieve crunch time is a win. When you've got that bottleneck, it doesn't matter how many hours you're pumping in outside of that. You still got your bottleneck. So we are trading time during the slow time for time during the sweaty time. With month-end closes, you ought to be staging recurring requests to go out every month, every quarter, as soon as possible. Credit card statement closes on the 17th each month, and for some reason you need the client to get that for you. Set that recurring request for the 18th. You do a pile of 10, 40 tax returns in busy season. Cut the team loose on building requests in November and December so that on January 1, February 1, all those little requests go out automatically. It is rare that in our line of work, we're actually able to do pre-work ahead of time to prepare ourselves better. Take advantage of this, and it'll depressurize your sweatiest season. Last and fourth, because you procrastinate, that's why you need a robot. When you have to deliver that set of financials on the 15th, when do you start the project? How much time do you give yourself? The 8th, the 10th, 12th, 14th, you maniac? In my experience, 9 times out of 10, the later you wait to start the project, the more likely you're gonna hop in and find that you have absolutely nothing with which to do the project. You don't have all the stuff you need, and it's now so late that you're gonna feel like a knucklehead asking for it. Tee, oops. Okay, now 4 counter arguments to this approach. What I hear the most: 1, I don't like portals though. Hey buddy, I get it, nobody does. Let's build a bridge, let's get over it, and move ahead towards what's next. Nobody likes running tech support on some other tool for your clients. Siri, come on! But let me tell you this, there are good portals and there are bad portals. And the good ones today are pretty hard for your clients to screw up. They can log in with magic links, which are just links that are sent to their email so they don't have to remember a password. It's as easy as it can be. Now, there were some really bad portals early on. There are still some really bad portals from some of the big players. I'm looking at you, Tax Suites. Don't use a shit portal, just don't. The reality is, in our day-to-day, we all use portals. We just call them websites. And admittedly, it's very quaint and old-fashioned that as accountants, we still call our websites portals. It's cute, right? But websites are just how things get done these days. And I don't know about you, I think the internet thing's probably gonna be here to stay, and we're just gonna keep trending in that direction. When I look at all the other things I do in my life, I'm not calling Tina to change the payment method on my electricity bill. I'm not texting the pool boy when the rhododendrons take a dump in my pool right before the party. Portals are kind of an inevitability. You gotta have a website that people can go out to and do stuff themselves. And requests are a great place to start with that because it's such a big driver of your own productivity. Now, second reason people don't wanna do this, boy, we looked at this in the app that we use. It's not very good. Okay, you have an app, a practice management system that has a portal, but that portal sucks butt. A lot of apps are giving us really poor quality portals that are like this afterthought kind of bolt-on thing. Everybody seems to have a portal now, and it's frustrating because exchange of information with clients has a huge impact on how efficiently we can work with our clients. So pay attention to this as you're building your software stack. If you're moving to a new practice management system, make sure you got a solid client request-like system. Don't forget about that. And if the tool you have doesn't do it well, pull in a standalone app just for managing requests. Yes, it's worth it. And one of my favorite request apps is this video sponsor, Content Snare. Roll the music. Content Snare gives you a super professional way to request stuff from clients. It is, I will show you, it is really hard to not be able to figure this out. They've made it as easy as possible for the client. It is like a form builder on steroids. You got all sorts of different types of questions. You may have seen in a past video where I showed off their table field type. It's like a wee built-in spreadsheet, but they're doing some really smart stuff here. They've listened to a lot of feedback from accountants about the shocking ways that our clients will screw this up. Some stuff I like, questions can be submitted by clients individually. You can create these sets of questions and templatize them at any hierarchy level. So like annual tax returns, I got a bunch of boilerplate stuff, great. But maybe on my wee bitty month-end accounting closes, I want a smaller template. And you can pre-fill answers to these questions if your client already gave you some of the info. Buddy, we are making it as easy as possible on the client here. With Client Share, clients can log in with a magic link or an actual login if you want, and it auto saves their progress. They can unplug the Ethernet, they can go microwave a Hot Pocket, they come back, everything's still gonna be there. And the nice thing about this, about Content Snare, all it does, requests really well. So if the rest of your tools suck at requests, if your portal doesn't work well, no excuse, buddy. You can bolt this on and you're good to go. Learn more about Content Snare in the link in the video description below. Okay, third naysayer.
We gotta build out all these request lists? That's gonna take way too long.
This is the most common complaint I hear, to build out all of these request lists for clients, especially around tax. Oh my gosh, that's gonna take so long. And I'd be lying if I didn't say it took a good amount of time. But you know what, buddy? Right now you're burning that same time in your busiest season. You just don't realize it because it's happened every day amidst all the other work. By separating out the process for building request lists, you can do it ahead of time. You can delegate it to a junior team member, even let your junior team stage the requests, where oftentimes maybe you are embarrassed of their words and you make them run those questions through you, so you gotta send the email. It's a nice part about using machines for requests. The client can't tell who made the request. Ultimately, probably doesn't matter. Now, if you're afraid your junior's gonna do it wrong, like set up an approval workflow, great. But it gives you a little more flexibility in who can push that stuff to the client. Last,
I mean, we haven't even gotten the work in. How are we supposed to know what we need? Boy, something about these glasses makes that character just better.
The reality is we do know. 90% of the requests are the same. Sometimes they'll change and you'll only realize that once you get into the work. But that's not a reason to not do 90% of the work ahead of time. Like I said, there's no perfect solution here. But the fact that maybe you can only do 90% of it is not a reason to then not do any of it ahead of time, right? Have you transitioned to pre-staged requests like this? Share your experience in the comments, what worked and what didn't work. These experiences, arguably the most valuable aspects of these videos. I appreciate you sharing your perspective. And we did a deep dive on whether you should start projects without complete information, or do you just tell them, go take a hike until you give me all those goodies, buddy. I'll put a link to that. It's from my daily podcast where we are having so much fun Monday through Friday, man. Oh, good golly, there is some stuff happening. We're talking woo-woo stuff. We're talking AI stuff, technology.